Alright, this video is the advanced video on Fibonacci retracement, Fibonacci extensions, and symmetry. If you don't know what those three things are, then go back and watch the video on Fibonacci that just explains the basics of what these drawings are. So first off, you always go from left to right when drawing Fibonacci. Today we're on TradingView, but these tools are available on TradeStation and Thinkorswim and most all charting platforms that I'm aware of. However, the extensions, Fibonacci extensions, are sometimes labeled a little bit differently, and there's usually not a tool called Symmetry, but that is the same as the extensions on TradeStation. Hopefully you'll see what I mean as we go forward. So first, Fibonacci retracement. I love this tool in the first little bit of the day. So what you do is always start from left to right. So left, right here, up to the high, so low to high, and we're looking for the retracement. Now, to use this one for a strategy, you would probably be wanting to go with the trend and be buying off of one of these levels. Something to note is that if it doesn't consolidate, like this example, it didn't really consolidate at all up here, it usually will bounce off the 50 or the 61.8. Now, if it consolidates up here, it usually will go a little bit lower, or if it goes sideways, maybe around right here, it might make another leg down and go down to the lower levels, maybe even all the way down to 100. A lot of people like to even scale into a position here for a continuation, maybe starting at the 38.2, adding at the 50, adding at the 61.8, and stopping below that. It all depends on you and your plan and the whole chart. But this is the way that you would draw to find this really good level right here. You can do this for the other direction. In fact, just over here, you can see how we came down and then pop back up. If we do Fibonacci left to right, from high to low this time, you notice that it came straight to the 61.8 and then kept going down. That was a perfect entry for the continuation to go down. Next, let's look at square. Isn't quite as obvious of a chart, so we're going to use Fibonacci extensions. Of course, you could have done the retracement from top to bottom here, and it did bounce off the 61.8 right there to make its way back down. This is a little messier, not quite as clean, but it did work. Now, if you were short right here, you're maybe trying to find where do I take profits. Maybe do it at the bottom down here for a double bottom on the day, or we use extensions. So extensions, you take it from the bottom to the top of the move, and then it draws these extension lines. Again, for TradingView, I'm using Fibonacci retracements to find the extensions, but others, they might have a tool called Fibonacci extensions. So just keep that in mind. And then we can also maybe try it from here to the top, which is actually high of days right there. And look at that stack right there. This is called Fibonacci clusters, where multiple Fibonacci lines add up together. So that created a pretty strong level. Now, something else that you could use Fibonacci extensions for is for targets, for breakouts. We're finding this significant support area to start our Fibonacci extension line. And it clearly was a support area here as well. And once it broke through that, that's what we're trying to measure. It's for that breakthrough and how big of a move this will be. Now, something else that we could have done with this chart is actually symmetry as well. So on other platforms, this could be called Fibonacci extensions, but on here, we're gonna call it symmetry. We are measuring this move right here, and then we're gonna take it to the top of this move. Look at that. It points exactly to where it bounced. And now if we draw our Fibonacci on top of that, our extensions, look at how strong of a level we've created right here. We've got 3 lines all right here for support. Now with symmetry, some platforms will have different percentages on them, like a 61.8 using Fibonacci levels on the extensions, which those do work, but I have found that the 100% works the best because it is symmetry. It's measuring this exact move and putting it right here and saying that exact move is going to happen again. Now let's look at another example. So first off, Fibonacci extensions, you would maybe want to try and find a high, But you can't do that from here to here, right? Because that's right to left. We need to be going left to right. So left to right, right there, high of day to low, and that gives us some good levels. Now, how do we know that that's even accurate though? How about we try and find some levels that will match up with that? Grab the symmetry tool and measure that first move and then put it here. You'll notice nothing lines up right now. And the reason that it most likely won't line up here off that first move is because that first move is usually an imbalanced move. It's going to be bigger than any other move typically for the entire day. So I don't like to measure this first move for symmetry. Sometimes it does work, but typically I like the second move. So here to here is the second move. And then we'll take it to the low of that, which is very small. And that gave us this level right here, which it perfectly came and hit. We could even draw another symmetry, maybe from the bottom of this to the top of this one, and put it here, which measures the next move almost perfectly right there. And we've also got this symmetry, this Fibonacci extension level of 261.8 right at that same area. Sometimes these do work to the penny, but I would say that it is smart to not play them to the penny and try to use them as areas of resistance or support. Now, the reason I didn't use here to measure, because this move worked perfect on that move. Really, I could be using this same move and put it up here, and it will draw it nearly the same spot. It takes a lot of time and practice with these drawings and to have confidence in what you're doing. So first, retracement, that's a pretty big move. And that's mostly what we're looking for, is a big move one way or the other, and then a retracement back. Notice this one did consolidate here. It actually came all the way down to here and bounced back up. So it had already bounced a couple times before falling. Now, in order to find the tops that we're looking for, I'd go high to low, right? This would be my level up here, but it never hit it. Another place we could have done this was this high to this high, right? This low right here, which does give us some levels, but this isn't that great of a drawing because it's such a small part of the day. Next, what we could do is some symmetry. So let's try symmetry from here to here. And it didn't quite get up there. So what this trade actually probably was is a failed breakout. It tried to break out of high of day, couldn't do it. So where was the trade on this chart? Let's try Fibonacci retracements from all the way to the low of day to the absolute high of the day. And that puts us right there. Now you can draw however many you want. Let's try this significant area up to this one. You'll notice we've got two levels right here, two levels right here, two levels right there. It's cool how they actually line up. And these two levels did hold, and then it rejected those two, broke through, came in and tested down here. It's crazy how well these work. Now, another spot that you could use this is from this low right here, where it clearly held after this little drop, up to this high right here. And it held that 200%, which if we drew a line right here, you know that there's some thick levels in this area. Now let's try one more chart. This is Amazon. And I want to use symmetry, but I'm going to use it in a little bit of a different way. So we've made this move down and a little bounce up here, a move down and a little bit of a bounce up here. So let's measure this bounce here, okay? So we're measuring this bounce right here, and we're going to take it to the low of day. Something that happens is when it breaks that 100% symmetry, when it breaks through it, that typically is a sign of a reversal and that it's going to continue up. If you got in for some reason down here and it breaks the 100%, it gives you another reason to hold on longer to go higher on this chart. Now let's draw another one right here, going from this high down to, let's say, this low right here, and right here's the high of this. So we measured this whole move down So this isn't a perfect symmetry move because it did make a move down and consolidate and then make another move down. So it made this entire move in 2 moves basically, but it did still work. Now it's going to take a lot of testing and trial and error with drawing these Fibonacci lines and extensions and symmetry. But the main points I want to make are, first, always go from left to right when drawing Fibonacci retracements and extensions. Now the key points for retracements are it's best off the first move up or down and then a retrace back. So you're trying to do a continuation usually with this type of play. Second, it's good to use with highs and lows of day. For example, go from the absolute low to the absolute high of day. And you can see that it held the 38.2 that entire way, and it's pretty obvious support area right here with this price action. Now it's best on direct moves with little to no consolidation. Now with extensions, the best way to use these is to find targets for a breakout. Now with symmetry, I like the 100% level because it just works wonders, but you can use other Fibonacci percentages with symmetry. And the other way to use symmetry is if it is reversing and goes beyond the previous symmetry bounce. So let me know if you have any questions about these. These are drawing tools that I use every single day, and just start practicing and working with them. And I'll see you in the next video.